It's a four-letter word that most people find themselves in. We're talking about boom, boom, boom.
Music? Debt. Okay.
Debt, yeah.
Richmond money expert J.B. Bryan is back with tips on the good, the bad, and the ugly of debt and how you can manage it. But J.B., it's really probably more about managing yourself to some degree, right?
So true. Yes, indeed. And debt can be a hurricane, as Tom mentioned. It can be a hurricane of your finances. But there are some good debts and there's bad debts. So all debt is not bad. And so I just want us to make sure that we share with everyone at home that it's how you use it, as you said, how disciplined you are. And if you think about even the bad stuff, we think about bad debt choices at the beginning. We think about credit cards, but they don't really have to be bad, but they are definitely on the bad list when you use them improperly. So let's say improper use of credit cards makes them on the bad list, because in reality, when you get a credit card, you're really not supposed to use the credit card to its limit. It can hurt your credit score to go over 30% of your line of credit that's available to you. So you have to really manage them properly and understand that only use 30% or less. So if you have $1,000, put less than $300 on your card.
That's pretty eye-opening, because a lot of times I don't think you learn that or hear about that until you're already kind of in the situation.
So true. You're so right. And they're also, making sure that you avoid the overuse of the credit card, because it can hurt you when you look at good debts like your home mortgage. Your home mortgage can be a good debt decision, but you have to approach it properly and you have to go into it with a good credit score, because having a bad credit score can increase your payment by over $200 a month.
You're paying twice,
just in a couple of points difference.
When I wanted to get my first car, I went to my grandfather and I said, somebody said, you can co-sign this loan for me. And he set me down. He said, I love you. I'll lend you some money. I'll help you if you get in trouble. One thing I will not do is co-sign.
A bad debt. That's so true. That is definitely a bad decision, because it is equal to actually signing the debt yourself. So your uncle was so smart, so right. And I've talked to so many people who are in their retirement years and they co-signed for debts for their children or grandchildren, and it's impacting their retirement. So co-signing is tantamount to just getting the debt yourself.
And here's an area that's so easy to get caught up in. If you've been able to save in a 401k and you look at this amount of money that's tucked away and you think, well, it's mine, I've saved it, I can access that.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because you really want to avoid taking out a loan on your retirement account at work. I'm so glad. If you just avoid it, because what happens when you're making the payments back to yourself, and you hear it all the time, people say, oh, well, I'm only paying myself back, but you've reduced your ability to save for your future. So we have to be careful and realize that even though the interest rate is good, if you lose that job or have to change jobs, that can become a major taxable event. So be careful with a 401k loan.
So even though you are paying yourself back, you're not building at the same time.
You're not building. That's right. Because if you're putting in $500 a month, $450 of that could be going back to pay that loan down. So you're only saving now for $50 a month. So be careful.
All right. And then one that gets a lot of people is financing weddings. It's on your list too.
How glad.
But we're investing in the future.
Because one of the biggest problems.
In the Bahamas.
But what is one of the biggest
wedding,
things? What do people divorce for the most? Number one cause of divorce?
Money.
Finances. That's right. So if you're going into the marriage with debt, an unnecessary debt, so definitely avoid it. Definitely avoid financing a wedding. There are manageable ways around it. If you're marrying someone who wants to go into debt and you don't want to, that can be a major
the red flag.
I love you, baby. Bye.
That's right. That's right.
So, JB, you mentioned we've covered some bad. We have a little less than a minute left. We talked about good debt, purchasing a home.
Purchasing a home, an easy good debt. Also purchasing a loan for your education. education. We know that the numbers show that you make more money if you have a college degree. So one of the best investments that you can make is financing your education if you have to, but you still have to be smart on how you do the loans, because many children mess up. The student will get the loan and use it for things outside of just their courses.
You can invest in an education and finance. It won't cost you anything from JB Bryan.
That's right. Head over. She offers money seminars every Wednesday at noon, and on Saturdays, be sure to head to our website, WTVR.com, for all the information. We'll have a link posted there so you can sign up. The workshops are free, but pre-registration is required, so make sure that you check it out.